Hello, everyone. The one called Fate knocks at your door. It's Hunt, back with another episode of Tabletop Recap. I have my regular co host with me today, Big Boy Chungus.
Hello.
And also G, as in G's Nuts, I got him.
Hello.
Very fun. So today we played what was a new game for me. I'm not sure it was for you guys.
I actually first played it when Red Dead Redemption 1 first came out because that was a mini game and I practiced with it all the time.
I practiced with it all the time. What about you, G?
I've played it on a few occasions, but I haven't played it to a large degree.
Well, I'd never played, and I'm the important one. We're talking about Liar's Dice mainly today. A fun gambling game. We didn't actually gamble. It was still plenty fun without gambling, though, because we all hate each other and want each other to lose deep down. So let's roll for some initiative.
5.
10.
6.
Okay, well, I'm going to yield to Big Boy Chungus just because he knows the rules better than anybody else. So go ahead and give us the rules, Big Boy.
So basically, we played the non-gambling version because we're good guy Greg's here.
Good Christian boys!
So this is a game that takes place over multiple rounds where each player is given a cup and 5 dice.
And you got a fancy set.
Yeah, I bought a set of it. Excuse me. Yeah, each player for each round rolls their dice, and there's typically 2 ways you can pick who goes first, either by mutual agreement or by rolling 2 dice and see who gets the highest roll. After this, the player makes a wager, such as picking a dice face and then saying the number of dice that have the same face. So, for example, I might say after rolling the dice that there is a grand total of 4 2s. And I have to take into account all of the dice, not just my own, but G's and Hunt's as well. The wagers will continue like this, going around and round until someone eventually calls a bluff. So they will either say, you're lying or I'm calling you. And the person, if the call has fewer than the number said previously, so if G says I have 5 2s, Hunt says I call, we remove the cups, and there are in fact 4 dice, then G would lose the round and withdraw one of his dice. However, if there were at least 5 or more dice, then G would have been correct and Hunt would have had to withdraw one of his dice from the game. And this keeps going until only one person has any dice left. If it comes to the situation where there are 2 dice left, 1 per 2 people, then you wager the number of the sum of the dice face rather than the face of the dice that are left, because it's easier to count 2 through 12 than it is to wager how many of 2 different types of dice there are. And that's pretty much the gist of the rules.
Yeah, so I got a little competitive in this game.
Because it's all about probability.
Not angry competitive, just like excited competitive. I don't
Yeah.
really get angry competitive. But I liked this game a lot more than I thought I would, you guys. A lot more than I thought
It's
I would.
very exhilarating, especially when you call correctly. Because there's one other thing. It's not really an official rule, but I've seen other people play it, where you can, instead of calling lying or being true, you can call spot on. And basically what happens is that if someone says something like, I say there are 4 3s, you can say, I think that's spot on. And if there are exactly 4 3s between everyone's dice, then everyone except the person who called spot on loses a dice.
I got good at calling spot ons towards the end there.
Yeah, but if the person who called spot on says that and is in fact not spot on, then they automatically lose a dice. So it's just a kind of like a double or nothing wager. You have to be more precise, but if you're correct, then more people lose their dice.
G's problem was he'd call spot on like really early when there were too many dice.
I got it a few times.
Yeah,
did.
but
I believe I actually won more of the matches than...
You won more than me. I only won once.
Yeah, but your early spot on calls, even a blind hog can find an acorn every now and again.
Wow. You can't call him a hog.
That's a general metaphor.
Is that a fat joke?
No.
You calling him fat?
You
Hashtag cancel Big Boy Chungus.
Hashtag he's not wrong, but still my feelings are hurt.
Never.
That's a really long hashtag. Hashtag, that's a really long hashtag, man. It's not going to be convenient for anyone.
End hashtag. But yeah, so what were some of the... We had a couple of good times playing this game. What were some memorable moments that you remember from earlier today?
You were out at one point, and it was just me and G, and I had one die, and you had like 4 of yours left.
Yeah, and you knocked me down all the way to 0.
Yeah, I called like 3 correct spot-ons, and then another.
For some reason, he kept guessing the dice that you had, and you used that to your advantage.
Well, because like
every time
I would say like 2 5s, and you would like you say that's spot on, and I'd have 1 5, and the other one you had would be a 5, and I'd just be like, oh come on.
You also couldn't figure out how to flip your cup over without sending your dice everywhere.
Shut up.
Yeah, you had a good little zinger where I was telling you, for some reason, you kept holding yours upside down and holding the dice in your hands, and you'd slam them and the dice would go everywhere. And I'm like, hold the cup upside down, let physics and gravity do all the work. And what did you say?
I said, you've never taken a physics class in your life. All I've told you to Earth you think is spaghetti.
For all you know, the only thing holding you to Earth is spaghetti.
I was trying to think of some insult, and spaghetti was just the first thing that came to mind.
The spaghetti. Everyone just walks around with spaghetti ropes on them.
I was thinking it was more like the spaghetti monster.
I think honestly that's where I was trying to go with it, but I didn't couldn't get Spaghetti Monster out in time. So
weren't clever enough. Got
spaghetti.
It. Spaghetti was funnier than that would have been.
Noodles!
Good times. Had to be there. It was wonderful.
But yeah, so I had a good time introducing you to a new game, even if it is quite simple.
Yeah, it's not one we could make a full 30-minute episode on, but we do have some bonus stuff today. Let's talk about some times you guys were bad at games. How does that?
Like today or at any point?
All the time. So, we played Munchkin today.
Oh, no. I had a plan, and I was cheated.
G had all the cards he needed to stop Big Boy Chungus from winning this Munchkin game that was going on way too long. So, Big Boy Chungus is fighting a monster.
Very low level.
Very low level. It's the last level he needs to win the game.
Yeah, and so you were like, I play the... What was the dragon?
Wandering Monster.
I played Wandering Monster and played the Plutonium Dragon.
Which is like the strongest monster in the base set.
And then to double down on it, I got rid of his class, which is Wizard, which made it easier for him to escape. And then I played Mate, which summons another Plutonium Dragon. So he has to fight 1 monster and 2 Plutonium Dragons.
And as soon as you played Mate, I was like, that was a waste, dude. You don't need to play that. And then Big Boy Chungus was like, that's true, because I activate my trap card. And he basically played some card that was just basically the Munchkin equivalent of No You. And so then you had to fight 2 of the Plutonium Dragons.
Yeah, it was the Munchkin version of the reversal Uno card.
We should do Uno one of these days.
Oh,
you want to end friendships?
Yeah, we might.
I play Uno online. It's fun.
It's because you don't know
you
those people.
play online with friends?
You don't know those people. Yeah, that's why.
But yeah, so I basically pulled a No You on G over there, and he died.
Horribly. And then we were lied to about how dying works.
I just forgot the rules.
Someone conveniently forgot the rules and then won.
It's a little weird that after we both died and he didn't and then won, that he immediately checked the rules for dying after and said that's not what they were. It's almost like he had a suspicion that that was incorrect and then just chose not to mention it until the game was over after his victory. It's a little weird. You little cheater. So
we decided that he lost and Hunt and I both won.
We tied.
That's fair.
That's fair because you cheated. That's why that's fair.
I don't normally do that.
I don't normally screw
Plus,
you guys
we
over.
played Munchkins a few months ago. You obviously didn't remember how it worked either.
No, it's not my game. It was only a few months ago.
Oh, okay. I'll remember that.
Yeah.
Not my game. It's just convenient.
Yeah. Today, I was the rules lawyer for a Godzilla card game today. The Godzilla card game.
Which is another fun game.
But I also want to talk about the puzzle in the Rick and Morty dungeon before we go on.
Oh, boy.
Oh, is the one that I...
Couldn't figure out, but then figured out later.
Yeah.
So I'm running the Rick and Morty D&D right now for a full run this time with the same characters that we're doing for the same characters from the Sunless Citadel, but my turtle, Clarence Spellshell, is out, and they're replacing it with Big Boy Chungus's favorite go-to character for one-shots and stuff, Bork, which is just a half-orc barbarian.
Barbarian.
You might have seen the Bork and Spork adventuring duo episode. Good times. Yeah, definitely go check that episode out. But they were trying to do this puzzle, or were they? You
guys weren't.
You have to match colored gemstones, and you guys only tried like 2 or 3 combinations. You barely tried.
Well, it's because every time you said you were just going to keep getting louder and louder, and you just went the entire time, just being louder and louder.
I also really loved playing the Morty Goblins. I liked you guys sticking in there for a while because I really enjoyed the Morty Goblins.
Plus, we had just finished the Sunless Citadel, and everyone was just kind of.
You guys were the ones that said you wanted to keep going.
Connor said he wanted to keep going.
We just said we should have said no. We're tired.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared to DM that. I'm more prepared now. But yeah. So you guys just decided, screw this. Let's backtrack through the dungeon and just try to find the rooms we haven't gone to yet. But then I'm not going to let you say what it was. But you figured out.
I figured out what it was.
Like we were just watching South Park, and you were sitting on the couch, and you were like.
Well, because like
it clicked.
You got a visit from Captain Hindsight.
You were talking to someone making fun of us, like we couldn't figure it out, and then it hit me. Wait a minute!
And you were like,
exactly what it is, and I said it out loud where only you could hear.
Yeah.
And like you didn't tell me I was right, but you didn't tell me I was wrong.
You were like, wait a second, the answer is in the block text he read to us when we entered the room.
Yeah.
He straight up tells you the answer.
Meanwhile, Bork's over here threatening goblins and smashing glass windows.
Yeah,
he's threatening to ruin the Morty's lives by sleeping with their wives and murdering their families.
Oh, jeez. I don't have a wife, but if I did, I wouldn't like that.
It was great. I loved role-playing those Mortys. Oh my goodness, I loved role-playing those Mortys. But, yeah, the best part was you guys just kept trying to get it out of the NPCs who just straight up don't know the answer. It was really funny. But yeah, if you want to backtrack to that room, I'll let you do that, no problem. But yeah, that's it for the couple stories. But now I want to get your guys' thoughts on the Godzilla card game. That was an episode we already had. It was 2 episodes ago, but these guys just learned it today, so I'm curious to hear your opinions on it.
I thought it was fun, really enjoyable. It was the only one I played with, but after seeing how the different cards worked against one another, I really liked the Mecha Godzilla decks.
Yeah, the only deck you didn't see in action today was the Mothra Ghidorah deck.
No one cares about Mothra.
Wow, rude. She's actually like the 2nd most popular Toho monster.
Behind Godzilla?
Yeah.
She's also like Kenny because she always dies.
I mean, isn't...
Only in his movies. She has her own movies.
When I think Godzilla movies, the first 2 monsters that come to mind are Godzilla and Mothra.
Yeah, exactly. Mothra's dope. You loser.
I'm pretty sure I butchered some names and you didn't like that.
Well, they're also...
No, I asked if...
Lots of them are translated incorrectly on the card, so it's fine.
I asked if the 2001 Iguana Godzilla was mentioned, and you looked like I just, pooped in your Cheerios.
You were like, is this monster the iguana one? And I was like, shut your mouth.
No, it was Godzilla 2000.
And the only reason I said it is because I knew it would piss you off.
Ah. No likey. No likey at all.
Even me, who's, knows very little of Godzilla at all, doesn't like the 2001 Godzilla movie.
It's just a bad film.
1998. I hate all of you. 2001 is Godzilla vs. Megaguirus and also GMK. Not that you care.
No.
But yeah, I really liked Megaguirus and Mechagodzilla, the whole strategy, which is basically just weak, or I should say weaker machines and ships that do a ton of damage after being played. But yeah, that Shin Godzilla deck. Oof.
Yeah, I played with the basic, more earthy monster deck, and G played with the Shin Godzilla villains deck, which has the best EX cards. The Shin Godzilla 4th Form EX card is you win if you play it. Basically, you just win. Uh, really wild. But yeah, did you guys like? Because the thing I really like about the game is the art. Because remember the Dragon Ball Super card game, they just, except for the big cards, they just use screenshots from the shows.
Yeah, pretty much.
But this game has original art for every single card.
Yeah, I really enjoyed seeing that.
And do you guys like the Chrono Clash system, like the time thing instead of the turn
I
phases?
think that's such like a cool way of keeping time. 'Cause, I mean, it's so like just traditional to have like you can only play one certain type of card during a turn, or you can only play like one. You can only have so many cards on the field. But to say like, okay, you can play as much as you want, but you do have like a time based thing to play as much as you want. That's actually really cool.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's so much time. I think it really makes you consider what you can and can't play. Because yes, you could play a super big monster right off the bat, but if you do, you're going to give your opponent a lot of ammunition to work with.
Yeah, I actually like it better than the kind of phases that like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering have, you know? Where like you can attack and then you can play something and then you can attack again if you want with something different.
Because like the big thing is like the fourth form Shin Godzilla is like really powerful, but the second you play him, not only is your turn automatically over, but you fill up your opponent's time meter, so they have literally all the resources to need to pull something out if they can.
Yeah, he's one of the ones you don't have to attack when he comes in, but he takes up so much cost that
He's 18 attack, 18 cost.
he's not 18 cost. He can't be 18 cost
No
because there's not that
monster is
much.
more expensive
I
than
know
10.
whatever it is, and it gives your opponent like
I think it's like
so
10 probably.
It gives your opponent it immediately ends your turn, and it gives your opponent a ton of wiggle room.
Yeah, but that card also gets like 5 Guardian attacks, and there are only 5 Guardian cards.
Yeah.
So that card basically.
The only thing that I could think that would stop it is the card that you had that stopped me that one time. The one it's
Aggregate Destroyer.
Yeah,
It makes the monster unable to attack. Really good card. That's one you definitely want in your Guardian stack. But yeah, so I'm glad you guys liked that game. I guess today's going to be a shorter episode. I expected it to be. That's why we had a bunch of extra stuff to talk about. Because Liar's Dice isn't exactly Settlers of Catan or something. Or something.
Definitely no D&D.
Yeah, for sure.
Very much in the moment, rapid fire.
Shorter games for fun. Just something a little competitive. Because D&D isn't really competitive. It's more. That's one of the reasons I like D&D, because it's not competitive. But you can do something with your friends like that. I'm rambling. I'm just trying to make it longer. Every day is suffering. Every day I'm suffering.
You guys are weird.
You're weird. I mean, you're the odd one out. That makes you the weird one. But yeah, that's it, everyone. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. We got a Facebook page. We got Twitter. We got merch on eBay. We got a Patreon where you can give us cash and you'll get cool stuff in return. So that's it. Thank you all once again. And I'll see you all next time when fate knocks at your door.